Alright, good news. I'm all the way caught up in complete 1,000-year Blood War arc. And that time I got reincarnated as a removed slime. Let me tell you, I will stop imitating alpha male strategies. For real, my child, because next time when I make a talk video, I want to talk about anime. My anime included. Now let's start off with a thing about India. I made the whole show to show you that I'm a rapper. It was a requirement in the studio. The best part about that one is that Vegeta was involved. And now I can literally talk shit about criminal get it passed. Who let society hold still for me? Yeah, serious, it's really serious. So if you think about all the grilling that you did in high school shit, that's what makes them little kids, guys. Really, she ain't got something monumental. Alright, so something I learned over time. It has something to do with using the devil in the form of God. Alright, what that means is I'm using God's word on paper where I'm flipping you, tricking you with reverse psychology, using a Godfather on paper. Now, this video is very interesting because remember I told you lately about Wilding Out, lately how Timothy Delgado, I was in the first two. It's time to get even more intricate to the point where there's too much action in my videos. If you didn't know, Shanks was the song that locked me at 31, where it came to, like professionalism, but like I told you earlier, Lily, he still went to jail, same shit still happened. And what lesbian cops know how to do, this is the actual fact about Foundation paper. Because the first thing that happens when you join Blood is you see the dead person literally in the final war happen. And then everybody literally starts laughing at the country shit. He's gonna play up what's confirmed, and then they're gonna flip this word, and then he ends up winning through the game. Through something that they've done because they've done it before. You know how to hack that official shit when the autistic kid wins, like the flash, the typo, they know how to do all that shit. So you know how physically fuck up the autistic account paper, but the only opposite thing is when you choose to be a lesbian cop, guys, you choose to be retarded. So everything you do comes with no common sense on paper. So that's control situations. You want to get away with a moral, you control a situation like a baby on paper. I accepted victory, and it was bullshit. You took me away from my girlfriend, guys. You knew that I was gonna be stuck here for more years on end, and you take advantage of my girlfriend, hacker? Get the fuck out of here. You're a flying pussy. It's true, it's very true, and they're ending somebody's world right now. But that Simpson shirt is legendary with Jennifer. Now, I was gonna save this for another video, but what I was supposed to have before is I was supposed to battle Jay-Z as a prop character that I used from a technique from the ARO called Biggie Smalls Nezuko, and how I got her. Lily was actually defeating Black on paper, Lily telling them that I'll toss this badass after dodging bullets from a Norte gang. What happened was I was supposed to actually battle, Xylon Livingstone. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because recently I had to play Lily one of his videos in order to calm down the lesbian cops and calm down, the cops in general, and where I get this technique from, because people want me to overhype really when you face, your foes. Lily, they want you to get cocky by making them pussy whip. Well, let me tell you a story about back in the day, Lily, when I did become season 4 champion, but why I gained common sense, and it's a very, deep story, because karma is involved. The almighty, actress of Hybison Academy drew for one of Livingstone's conversations, and he's like, I won't stop until you break up her karma. And now I know what actually means to his gang. That's when him literally holding on to the arrow, not asking for legitimacy, led to. And 9 times out of 10, who's defending him is Troy. Like, Stone, you're not even alive. But that's the thing, man. It's good to be, a tool, a boy, a poster boy, a feline, a cougar. But anyway, the boy Livingstone style for season 4 literally had something to do with a 4 pounding. Meaning he anticipated Riz with Troy. The actual battle that I played for him was one that was not charismatic. And by the way, I watch the generals battle sometimes in order to lock a company when they're trying to act stupid. In actuality, I played the one where he's Green Goblin against Joy, where he said the pit named Slickback. Oh, he locked theirs right then and there. There's a shitload of masturbate with Leo going behind stage, but he still locked me in season 4. There, I recognized Tina was hacking him right then and there. So how I used to pound Riz when Riz held on to multiple opposites in society was he would have a concrete flow based on actually getting better in the arrow, which is why the next performance was significantly different, but the formula is actually due to Turban Toilet Head. Because what he would do is he would go low and rise up and have good delivery. In fact, lately he had a lot of shit to distract. But what he did though is that Riz at the time in the arrow was also in 4. And how he trained was to track a sonic symbol in order to lock Joey. So what I would do is, as he progressed, and I'm thinking him in his first battle, by the way, it was Justice from Afro Samurai versus me being Soul again. Was I allowed him to think he was going to win with his Law and Order, but I held on to multidimensionality. In other words, one by Bard from the battle that he ran away from was, and has to be, Terra versus Raven. He was going to lose with Cinderblock, and practice ticket hack this. Just enough for Beast Boy's caucus if it was a cactus. He ducked the battle ever since, because he knew I was going to turn out. But let me tell you, Lily, there's more to that story that I learned. But that was a part of my side series on Thizzler, back when I was doing Jessica and shit. He ducked the battle because how it was actually going to turn out. because he tried and then he dropped the lyrics. So what he did was he pretended to never do the battle due to pretending that I was retarded. Where this video gets deep and not selfish, that he actually knew that I went to the URL shit. He went to the URL shit firstly when the uncle puts you in a wheelchair where you have to wear the shampoo shit for schizophrenia, watching the URL battles back when we were all schizophrenic. He knew that. He actually got labeled retarded on paper. Moon Stone dedicated his life to the URL. It can only be used for incognito. But anyway, let's try to get this video to 7. But anyway, one of my biggest one-liners in high school was the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And even though Bree was a sick character, I was rapping on stage live with Pan with Uncle Tommy. This character of Yaoranzu is really confusing. But school coming up, I have a few surprises. And also one of the biggest uploads that are coming to my channel is the history of me in anime fighting games. And also, yes, Bruno, without thinking about PG, like whenever Miss Chop, whenever a good concept completely gets blown out the water, you have knowledge and research when to come back with dopamine, there's more to come. And that's what happens when you get into cause and effect. Just like Down Pros, when I knew that they had their own unique dialogue due to hanging around with Chris, it's really monotonous. But something's gonna come up. So for now, stay lit.